Welcome back. You're watching The Daily Report with my guest, Professor Peter Kagwanja. He's policy advisor and strategist, a Kenyan intellectual advisor and reform strategist and policy thinker on governance, security and African affairs, a professor of history, politics and international law. Prof, thank you for staying with us.
Thank you.
Brilliant. And you know, your feedback is still very welcome. 22047 is our SMS line. Our WhatsApp number will be on your screens shortly. Please go ahead and channel your questions to the distinguished Prof. Start with your name, where you're watching us from, as well as your feedback, question or comment regarding the program tonight. Prof, and you know, as we sum up whatever we were talking about before the break, the Gen Z are also talking about, you know, a moral problem.
Yep.
As we look at, you know, the issues that have been raised even on social media, overlapping on the roads. And, you know, a significant thing that we've seen over the last few weeks is that there are no more sirens on the roads in terms of those who needed to move earlier. And they were questioned, they were told, if you needed to move faster, you should have woken up early. And those are some of the issues that they seem to be correcting. When you look at even the movement that is going on and the counter, you know, because with every reaction, there is a counter reaction. When you look at even how it's being handled, do you think it's being handled in a way that is very conducive?
Hadud, I hope you are asking that I look at both sides of the coin.
Please. And
see what has happened. Let's look at the Gen Z side.
Yeah.
By the way, these are not people from the moon. These are boys and girls in our houses. They are our daughters and our sons.
Yes.
Actually, to be honest with you, and I hope President Ruto will listen to me keenly here, we are the real financiers of the Gen Z. Forget about Ford Foundation, we're the real financiers. Because some of these kids are coming to this maandamano through Uber. And some of them are not employed, they are coming from our houses. Right? That's where the anger is deep when one of them dies, because it's our kids. And therefore, and it's not me alone, even Ruto has kids. You had this beautiful conversation, which I'll never forget, between Raila Odinga and Raila Odinga. The difference is junior and senior. You know, the conversation they had was exciting for our times. And the junior said that at this age and time, you may share a name, but you are different. You are different individuals. Which is true. So Junior definitely has sympathies for his generation. But he's coming from the senior Odinga's house. And many of us find ourselves in that kind of a situation. Actually, our houses have become the real battlegrounds. Because we are advising our sons and daughters, please, mommy, don't do this, Baba, do you think this is right? I say, listen, we are not interested with what you are saying. You failed. Let us do it for you. Then after we have done it, we can have this conversation. That's how they are dismissing us. And it is true. We failed to win the 2023 financial bill. We failed to change things under Uhuru Kenyatta's system. And that's why we voted with anger for William Ruto. It was an angry vote that it was. And that is equal to the anger which you see in the public now. But what is the end of this anger? I don't think it is anarchic. It's not chaotic. It is not disorder. It's not subversive. Therefore, it is within the law. And that's why we can talk about it public. And it's something I would identify with. It is something you would identify with.
Yes.
Because we have no problem with a value-based leadership, value-based society. And this is what movement is about. Value-based because there is no reason why a medical doctor would be earning less than a member of parliament. It doesn't make sense. When at every stage you are demanding of somebody to have an A, possibly with an asterisk, the top of the A is what the French called crème de la crème of our society. are the ones who go to do medicine. And for God's sake, they stay longer than the rest of us. They go through very serious, rigorous training. And even when we are saying yes, for them they take an oath. Then the same person, somebody who has not done anything, never did anything, is ordering that they will have or they will not have any job. And the person presiding over them does not even know anything medicine, because according to things, they did medicine online. I mean, give me a break. The foundation of this society is meritocracy. That's what our founding fathers and founding mothers were about, meritocracy. That we want a merit-based society where you pass your exams, you get a good job. You work hard in the morning and you are rewarded accordingly. That you serve your society well, you are given a medal by the president because you've served at the apex of your society. So we are a merit-based society, yes. But we have basically, destroyed, and undermined all these values and virtues that were supposed to be the basis of our society. And therefore loyalty becomes the issue. As one of our leaders would tell us, if you don't belong, you don't belong. This Kenya is Kenya Inc. Kenya Incorporated.
And you have to...
Yeah, you have to...
Talking of shareholders.
Yeah. Oh. At that level, we had sunk to the bottom of society.
Okay.
Thanks God, we are coming from there. And we are now beginning to know that Kenya is for all of us. And it doesn't matter whether you are elected this way or that. The law is the one that equalizes us. I think the young generation, the millennials and the Gen Zs are pushing us closer to a value-based society where it is merit that makes you a leader. It is not your heritage, it is not your status, it is not your association with which politician and which non-politician.
Okay.
Yeah, and I grew up. I grew up the later years of my life in societies where merit mattered, for example. And when they themselves, I grew up in South Africa. I mean, they spent a good deal of time in the United States and also in South Africa. And in South Africa, you could see that those who merit it are pushed forward. That it's a competition between those who merit. And you have difficult choosing between Thabo Mbeki or what is the young man, the communist leader, who was there, or Ramaphosa that time. Yeah. So it's merit.
Okay.
And I think that's where the Gen Z revolt.
Let's now look at the other side of the coin.
The other side of the coin is very simple. Yeah. I sympathize with President William Ruto, really, sincerely I do. I sympathize with him because he was brought to power by certain teams. People who sacrifice their resources. People who put on the table serious money. People who put on the table serious time. Invested everything they had, and they brought even the groups they had, whether it is a church, the congregation, they brought them to get him to power. And of course, immediately after the election, they were waiting for rewards. And some of them were rewarded. But now, President Ruto is called upon now by this revolt to disband himself. He is being told that the people who brought you to power don't merit it. They don't measure to the cut of being the value-based leaders that Kenya is looking for, the men and women of great talent that will move Kenya to the 21st century, and that will make Kenya competitive with Korea and Malaysia. Yeah. We don't see anybody in your cabinet. This is what they are saying. Maybe one, maybe none. They are telling him that the parliament with which you were elected was a euphoric parliament, that none of those people can be described as men or women of virtue.
Virtue.
So just sit with him and see his struggle. it is to ensure that he is also not accused of betrayal, that you betrayed those who brought you to power, or those with whom you rose. You can imagine him disbanding his cabinet with the Murkomen and others who were always around him, advising him, telling him how to move forward, maybe going to campaign with him, and now they're at home. And villagers swearing with all the oracles they know that you'll never even see a seat of the MCA. This is how villagers are putting it now. You see, they are swearing with every oracle they know that this man cannot even win a seat as MCA because of this and that. So the sympathies go to President William Ruto. But I hope he can read this week's article by Tony Blair. The advice was not to him, but to the incoming, the new Prime Minister in the United Kingdom.
Keir Starmer.
Yes. And he was telling Keith, listen, brother, there is a time we call election time, campaign time. At that time, hell is on promotion. You speak eloquently about the things you don't know. In fact, if you can convince your people that after you are elected, you harvest the stars for them and serve every home with a basket of stars, and they believe in you, you are a winner. But the day you are elected and become the executive, the game changes.
The game changes.
You are now an executive with certain expectations in terms of delivery. Therefore, it is only Kenya where people think that the people you fought with in the trenches are the same people you are going to govern with. And these are two moments requiring different skills and requiring different outputs. The output here is to get to government, and you get into government. The output in this other thing are the deliverables: good health care, affordable education, right? Housing, order in the public spaces, and efficiency, and the glory of the nation, among other nations, not to be a laughing stock of other countries. When you walk out there, people could just say, oh, this is from Kenya. Then they have a moment of laughter because you are funny.
Prof, let's take another break. When we come back, we will then interrogate as we enter the home stretch, looking at what the future could potentially hold, where President Ruto should look into, and is there even hope to be able to find these people that he has said he will form a broad-based government with. We are taking another short break. When we come back on the Daily Report, we continue to speak to Professor Peter Kagwanja. Even as we monitor your feedback, please keep it coming.